Stay tuned for Art Zone with Nancy Guppy.
Hi there everyone and welcome to the show. I'm Nancy Guppy. I'm wearing my very cool hand-painted flower pants made by my very cool artist friend L.A. Wiltbank, and we are coming to you from the groovy neighborhood and very loud neighborhood of Georgetown. This place is just a destination spot because it's packed with superb restaurants, unique shops, cool art galleries, and Fran's Chocolates, home of the world-famous smoked salt caramel. We've got a terrific lineup for you, including a new TV show from filmmaker Greg Lachow. Máire Kennan records her debut album, and we bid farewell to the beloved Georgetown Stables. And we'll begin with Saya Moriyasu, a fabulous visual artist who has a new solo exhibit featuring ceramic sculpture and oil on porcelain canvas.
I see eyes that are looking at me, and I see little bears that are hugging burnable objects in them, and there's little rabbits that you could burn incense in. A donkey, because I was thinking a lot about the elections and putting the fire in the belly of the Democrats. And there's other kind of creatures that I don't know what they are. When I put my hands in the clay, it feels like there's a potential, something can happen, and I'm free to find that, whatever it's going to be. I'm trying to see if I can find a face in the piece and see if that's what should be there. Sometimes I have a very definite plan what I'm making, and I've sketched it out, and I'm working towards that, so that's very goal-oriented. But this year I feel like, I was like, hey, it's a pandemic, just to allow myself to be creative and to make whatever I wanted to make at that moment and not to be designing to an end. I'm not loving that much at the moment, so it might, who knows what's going to happen with it. Sometimes I look at past work and kind of think like, what companion does that piece need? There's a very interactive quality to the pieces, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. But it's a benevolent kind of weird or something. Well, I made a head. I don't know what her story is, but it just came to me while I was making it, so. There's definitely bodies of work that have been about certain things. So when I did my show, Floating Worlds for Culture, it was a lot about losing my father and about just traveling through time and space and thinking about Japan a lot more. 1 year broke. My father was an immigrant from Japan. He came when he was 18 to go to Oregon State University. When I was growing up, because my grandfather was a painter and my father was a photographer and my cousins were dancers, it was just a very creative household. So that was very much a part of growing up and enjoying life, was having art in it. So I guess it just was what I was meant to do, because I just found myself doing it and I couldn't stop. To the place where I belong, where the redstone built my studio is kind of where I spend all my time, all my waking hours. I have my drawing supplies, my painting supplies, my ceramic supplies, my family altar. So the studio it holds a lot of my life in it, and I usually just feel very light when I come in. It's like greeting a friend. Like, hi, studio, here I am. Let's hang out. When you're working in clay, it takes up a lot of physical space. But luckily, with clay, because of the temperature range I fire in, after it's been shown and maybe I'm not going to show it again, it can become part of my yard. I love to stick the ceramics out in the garden and kind of let them have a little adventure out there with the cats. What brings me the most joy or makes me spark is that kind of culmination in a gallery or in a museum or in the public space where the piece is out in the world. When it gets out there and it's arranged how I want it, the lighting's how I want it, that is a very enjoyable part of it for me, is that time. So happy to have the show up and have everything interact and be together in a special way, and it also kind of signals the end. It can culminate there, and I can kind of feel like it had its moment.
Spooky Actions at a Distance runs now through June 22nd at J. Rinehart Gallery. Learn more about Saya at sayamoriyasu.com. Late last fall, we featured a beautiful performance from singer-songwriter Máire Kennan. Well, since that time, Máire has written an album's worth of songs and, working with producer Jeff Fielder, has recorded her debut record. Well, here's a behind-the-scenes look at Máire and Jeff in the studio.
As the pandemic hit, and I was a touring musician for years and years, and I had the whole year planned. It was a pretty good one, and all of that went away, and then there was this kind of sense of like, And Nancy called us at the end of the year, around November, December, and she's like, do you know anybody that could make a record for somebody? I know this young girl. She lives out on Vashon Island, and I think she's really got something to offer. And I was like, yeah, I know a guy. I don't even think she was thinking about me. It's just like maybe I knew somebody.
I had a meeting with him, and we first met on Zoom, but I just kind of knew from the beginning that I wanted to work with him because he just has such a good energy. He's so positive and hardworking and funny.
Turn my mic on. Okay, now I've got some action here.
Oh God.
Hi.
No.
Hi.
I knew that I needed to have complete creative control because I like things a certain way.
Yeah, that sounds better.
And I knew from the right off the bat that he was going to listen to that and he was going to respect that.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
She's never sang in a microphone before with headphones and things like that, like double tracking vocals and things. She's never done any of that, and she can just do it without any hesitation or asking too many questions about how to do it. I'm kind of tripping out. It's like she just, has a sixth sense about it.
When I walked in here the first day, I was so kind of in awe of everything that he has here and all these instruments. My mind's being blown every day, and I get to do all these cool things that I never would be able to do without this place. The name of this new record is Adolescence. It's my first record, and all the songs are kind of about growing up and all the different things that I experience. It's about loss, and it's about firsts.
Oh, I love this so much. Look at you.
I try to paint a picture, of the exact situation. And I like to get really specific with my lyrics because I think that's kind of the best music, in my opinion, is really specific to the person, but in that way of being so specific, it's easier to relate to in some way. Last year, my best friend passed away from cancer. She loved when I played music, and even when she was in hospice, I would come up to her room and I would play songs for her to sort of help her. I don't know, it was just comforting for her to hear that. And she would sing along a lot of the time, so I think music just played a really big part of getting through her last weeks. I wanted to write a song about my experience losing my friend, but it's more about trying to deeply love and cherish that person without having that feeling of tragedy and grief. And I just think songs are such a special way to connect to emotions like that.
I found a note in my phone, when your first birthday when you beat this. I don't wanna think about your dad, drawing your breath, making you laugh. I'm playing you a song, getting you to talk, trying to figure out what you're saying when you're strung out on pills and falling asleep. I just don't wanna think about you as a dead body. I just don't wanna think about you as a dead body.
I have a lot of musical influences. I really like Cat Power, PJ Harvey. I like Phoebe Bridgers, Clairo. I like rock. I like women rock. Women make the best rock music. The confidence and divinity and etherealness and feminine energy with the rock sound. You can't beat that. It's incredible.
And now you wanna please me, but I don't get to choose the things I like. I know you wanna please me, but I don't get to choose the things I like.
You don't necessarily choose to be an artist or a musician, you just kind of are, and then depending on how your life goes and what opportunities you're given, that kind of determines the direction you go into, whether it's painting or music or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But artists are generally born that way, I think, and they just don't have a choice.
My goal with music, and I think the purpose of it, one of the purposes, is feeling that connection to someone. I think people should listen to my music when they don't want to feel alone.
Music like this that's super personal and very authentic, you know, there's always going to be an audience for that. It's always, because it comes back down to things that are important, you know, and that's what this is, I feel, you know, about.
I know how I feel when I listen to music that I love, and I want people to have that feeling when they listen to my music. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Maura's new record, now titled Man in My Pocket, will be available this summer as a digital download on all streaming platforms. Keep up with Maura on Instagram. For information about musician and producer Jeff Fielder, go to jefffieldermusic.com. Veteran filmmaker Greg Lachow has been making award-winning independent films since the mid-1990s. I sat down with Greg recently via Zoom to talk about his latest project, a 6-episode TV show called The Uncertain Detective. Well, Greg Lachow, it's great to see you, and congratulations on launching a series.
Thank you so much.
So let's begin with a very, very basic question. What is the premise of The Uncertain Detective?
I was so ready for this, and it never even occurred to me that you might ask me what it's about. Ooh, maybe you kill your husband with a big knife, and then we see the blood dripping down.
No, I'm not doing it.
body.
It's too gruesome.
Come on. It's about a filmmaker and his family who are creating a detective show together. So we see the world of their real lives and the world that happens in the detective show intertwining, overlapping, and shading each other. It's all about desire.
Could we cut? Could the crew not be sitting on the bed?
Yeah, cut.
So talk a little bit more about the crossover between the reality-based family drama and the fictional world of The Uncertain Detective.
So, you know, in my life, I've always worked with friends, family, people I know, and I've always been infinitely more interested in the stuff that came from the real world than came from my head by myself. You remember that we're filming today, right?
No. What?
The detectives are following you
No.
to make sure you don't kill your husband. I'm sure I told you.
No notice. Can't.
Did you read the script?
Yeah. She wants to kill her husband, so she hires a detective so that she can go back in time to not kill her husband. And once they've thrown the switch, time travel will then be possible, but until then, it's not.
Of course. And it wouldn't be possible to travel back in time to a time before it was possible to travel back in time.
You think it's too confusing?
No, actually, it's the perfect fantasy.
A time machine or time portal is front and center in this first season of The Uncertain Detective. And a time machine was also prominent in your 1995 feature film, The 7 Mysteries of Life. So tell me about your interest/obsession with time travel.
I think when I moved from doing primarily theatrical stuff to starting to do film stuff, I saw pretty early on that film is basically all about time, whereas theater's really all about presence. I don't know if I'm more obsessed with it than anyone else. I did want to make a detective show about a detective who's not that interested in solving your normal crimes and murders and is more interested in the mysterious.
So that's what leads me to believe that my partner is stealing from our firm. Can you help?
Routine embezzlement is not generally a case for the uncertain detective. Is there any chance that your partner may be a self-conscious robot? Or perhaps an entity from another dimension?
I don't think so.
In this first season, we have cloning and we have interdimensional travel, but the main through line is this time travel adventure.
Gentlemen, I'm looking for a detective.
I'm a detective. I'm a detective. How may I help you?
We don't have much time. I need you to help me find something. Quickly.
Missing person.
A working time portal.
Now we're talking. Please have a seat.
Your wife, Megan, fantastic actress. she has starred in most, if not all, of your productions over the past 4 decades. So what is it about Megan's talent? Talk about what is it that she brings to every role?
Well, I think anytime you see great acting, what you're seeing is great intelligence. And that's what Megan brings. If you were watching the takes and the evolution as we proceed, you're watching a mind at work, and that's so exciting.
Why would you murder your husband?
You mean my character?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, come on, work with me just a little bit. Give me like one reason.
I'll give you 5 good reasons. 1, criticizes me constantly. 2, nags incessantly. 3, doesn't listen to me. 4, he's not interested enough in me. 5, he's not passionately interested enough in me.
Those are good reasons.
You want more? I have another hand if you need. I can totally give you 5 more.
No, thanks.
So why does the 19th century Russian playwright Anton Chekhov come up so often in a series that at first glance would appear to be whimsical and contemporary?
We have dipped into Chekhov for 30 years in works we do. We turn to him. It's not a conscious thing. It just, oh yeah, that's very much what we need.
Okay, Annette, did you get the lines, the script I sent you, the Chekhov 3 Sisters? Okay. So it's 1.
Well, you've got to have some faith, or at least you've got to seek faith. How can you live and not wonder why the birds fly, or children are born, or the stars shine in the sky?
Chekhov's really funny, but when you watch him, he's typically not very funny when you see performances. And apparently, from what I know, that drove him crazy. And our work is always tinged with humor. And it's a really interesting challenge, right? As you know, Nancy, to be funny while also trying to propel the show forward. And I like that challenge. And I think Chekhov was a genius at it.
When you look at your career at this point, the arc, 40-ish years, maybe more, what's the difference between when you started and now, would you say?
Ooh, that's a good question. What's changed, and only in the last few years, is this time around, I actually care if people see it, not in the sense of like X number of people seeing it, but in the sense of I want to do it again. I want there to be a season 2. And that's part of my excitement, is I know what I want season 2 to be, and I'm super excited to, I really hope we get to do it, and it will be better than what, in the sense that I will have learned and we get to grow, and that's all you can ask for. That's a blessing, really.
Yeah. Well, we're celebrating season 1. We look forward to season 2 and many more. Congratulations, Greg, on a great accomplishment. It's super fun, wonderful, charming, and thanks for talking with me.
Thanks so much.
You're too late, detective. Now why don't you be a good detective and find us a working time portal?
The first 6-episode season of The Uncertain Detective is streaming now on YouTube. Learn more about Greg Lachow at imdb.com. Finally, we have a remembrance of Georgetown Stables, the iconic one-of-a-kind event space that permanently closed last March. Now, in addition to the thousands of memorable parties that took place within these walls, Art Zone shot 60 episodes at the stables, and we are forever grateful to owner John Bennett for letting us in the door.
Gets them to acknowledge our interconnectedness.
How can I bring together all of these artists?
Loves all the rhinestones on it.
And I'm curating this week's calendar of events, baby.
I bake a chocolate cake on stage while I'm singing.
To me, the play is about Are there any sort of unfulfilled promises, American promises?
I'm interested in outsider stories. I've always been confronted with the question, where are you from?
I took a picture, but the guy was like really low in the frame, and there was something that I just loved about that.
So there was kind of like things were kind of stuck between two worlds on that, but we just love Kung Fu.
This is a dangerous dish.
It's the hottest pepper on the planet. The new one is called the Sophisticated Millennial for its lack of sophistication.
Right. Cheers to wonderful memories. And that is a wrap for the season. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a terrific summer, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall. Okay, yay! Thank you so much. Fran's chocolates. Okay, I got it.
Right,
I got it.
You got it.
Okay,
right,
I got
what'd you
the
get?
Fran's assorted chocolates. It's 10.
The 10 piece. I know all,
piece. Yeah,
I know all about
okay,
that one.
yeah.
Great.
Okay,
Okay,
so
I want the oolong tea one. The
What?
one with the oolong tea. Yeah, it's a cream infused with oolong tea.
How do you even know that?
This is it right here.
Okay, how do you know that?
Because I did my research. Didn't you look up online?
Can you get it out? Okay. No, well that's odd, but all right. Good.
That is really
Okay.
terrific.
Okay.
How's that? Is it kind of
This has
caramel?
got this. No, it's got this kind of orange zest thing.
Oh, orange zest. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
These are
now I do not want that strawberry truffle there because I don't like it when they mix fruit with the chocolate.
Well, why did you say that?
Let me have a bite of
Why
that.
do you think this? Why would you want a bite of this? It has fruit in it.
Orange zest, right?
Okay,
that's different.
You are Mr. Crazy Pants.
It's really good.
Okay, these are the
yeah, that's great.
the salted caramels.
Yeah.
And there's 4. I get 3 of them.
Okay.
3, and I want 2 of the dark. You have to have the
know that I only eat dark. You know that I won't even eat my chocolate, but you want 2 of the dark?
You should not be eating this much candy anyway.
No.
I'm going to eat the rest of this one. This is super good.
Yeah, that one's really good. Let me get this one here.
Why aren't you eating the oolong?
Let me get that one. Oh, it's great.